Hello everybody, this is Diane. I have 3 strawberry journals completed. I have worked really hard on them to get them finished so I can get them in the mail for you before strawberry season. Not that it really matters. You could write in a strawberry journal anytime, but I like to do them at strawberry season. So let's go through this one first. This one is the hardback one, and it's not really very hard. It's still bendy. This is a tie that Carrie from the Paper Monkey, she made and sent it to me in a Happy Mail, and I use a lot of her strawberry fabric items and papers in these journals. So thank you very, very much, Carrie. Also, I want to say that the digital kit that I used is from Polka Dot Pixels, and it's called Berry Fields. So you can just slide the tie off if you don't want to untie it. This wasn't long enough to tie it in a bow, so I just did it like this. And if you don't like it being so long, you can trim it off anywhere you like, and then use the fabric inside. So this is an antique berry plant advertisement from an old magazine or seed catalog. It has a little spot here where some of the color layer of the paper is off. I don't know. I got it that way, and I didn't want to put anything on top of it. And I don't remember what I used for the cover, but it's covered with this and with some scrapbook paper, and both sides are Mod Podged. And it feels like it's not quite as thick as the chipboard that I use, but I think that might be what it is. I think it's chipboard. And there's a fabric, red and kind of a tan beige color fabric on the spine, and the signatures show there are 3 signatures sewn with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And yesterday's video shows details on how to do this spine and the fabric spine that I did. And this is wrapping paper, vintage wrapping paper, and that's Mod Podged also. So I just did a little bit of collaging here because some of the paper, I picked it up while it was still wet, and some of the paper stuck to my thumb. So there were some spots, kind of like that one, but they're ones I did. So I covered them. Made a little pocket here, and this is a large shipping tag, and I stamped this pretty frame and stamped "And the Story Begins." You can write your name, the dates that you used the book, any information you want as an introduction to the journal. And here is one of the pieces from the digital kit. I did have some extra digital pieces left over from journals that I made last year, and I did pop them in these journals, but most of the all of the pages, well, no, there's actually 1 page in each journal from that other kit, and most of the ephemera are from Polka Dot Pixels. So I have a fabric pocket on the first page of each signature and some eyelet. I did use a lot of eyelet on the edges. Different designs of eyelet, and some of them are vintage. This one is. So this is a, I think I got this in a Happy Mail a while ago. It's a nice, thick, sturdy fabric, and I added this woven ribbon and a grosgrain ribbon here. I still have glue on me because I just finished these. This is a set of cards. They're perforated, so you can separate them and use them. Find a day that you're going to be working on your journal on a Monday where you could use this. You know, just use them throughout your book. And this is a vintage advertisement for Strawberry Valley Farm, a great place to be. And it has a map of how to get there. This is in the upstate New York area. There's Binghamton, New York. Don't know if you've heard of that. And it just has different produce and the schedule of when they would be available. Some activities listed. I don't know how old this is, but it's not new. I did have a few vintage items to include in these journals. I did a little bit of stamping. And this is the first Polka Dot Pixel page. I love the layers. And These are both from that kit. You'll recognize them. This is a vintage shipping label and 2 pieces from the kit. This is, it's a page full of washi tape, quote unquote, so it looks like it has torn edges, and a circle. You get a page of washi tape and a page of circles. And you get 3 envelopes in the kit, so I put 1 in each journal. And this is just from an ephemera set that is designed by the same designer, who is Emily. And it's Simple Stories, Berry Fields. And she sent me a pack of the Berry Fields ephemera, so that was really nice. I got to use that in these journals. So we have ledger paper, some dyed graph paper. This is the other digital. Like I said, 1 page in each journal, not in each signature, but 1 in each journal, because I had 3 pages left over from last year. This is a coloring book that had flower designs, and there were 3 pages with strawberries. So have fun coloring that. There is a fabric flip on wallpaper. And this is a unique pocket. I did it on a video. It's vintage crepe paper that I picked up at a flea market or an antique vendor mall. And I just kind of pleated it up and made it uneven and glued it to cardstock and then stitched around it. There's a little bingo sheet that you can play around with in the journal. A vintage recipe page with a strawberry recipe. There's a ticket there. And this is another little note paper that Carrie sent me. This is a fun page. It's got grid on this side, and it just has where the contractor or construction person can make notes on that side. There's a polka dot glassine bag with a collage on it and a guest check. I added this little paper doily, and then all of these pieces are from the kit. There is a paint chip from Carrie. I added fabric and a collage, and it goes behind the bag. A pink typing paper. This is a recipe page. There's just chocolate dipped strawberries and chocolate dipped fruits right here. And you get the recipe for peanut butter buckeyes. Whoops, they are here. And I talk about them quite a bit because I make them at Christmas time. I didn't make them this Christmas, but I made them this Easter. So these are a favorite treat in my family. And I looked at the recipe, and it's pretty much what I use, except my recipe says a little bit of paraffin melted in the chocolate to help it set up, but this one has vegetable oil to help with the melting of the chocolate. So other than that, it's the same. Here is a pocket that I made with a die stamped on it. And I added a while you were out page and one of the digital cards. This I stamped on cardstock and cut it out. These are some little die cuts. You can use them throughout the journal. Carrie had sent me a nice collection of fabric clusters with strawberry fabrics featured, and the colors are, they obviously go with these. And so I didn't even know how many she sent me, but I think I have one left. So thank you so much, Carrie, for that. It's a very nice addition to these journals. Strawberry shortcake wrapping paper. I'm pretty sure that came in a Happy Mail, and there's some little daisies there. A pink guest check and a recipe. This one is backed. So if you've been following my videos, you know that I've had a rough couple of weeks with my dad. Appointments and his health, and taking him to the ER, admitting him to the hospital, and I've been taking my mother there to visit him, etc. So I haven't had a lot of time. So things I might have finished are not finished. So I just went through and put all the rest of my little recipes in pockets, and I didn't back them with anything, but you can just glue them to the page, or make a little booklet with it. You can do whatever you want with them. There's another doily with some digitals. Her digital ephemera, some of it is layered like this, like little collages, which I love. And this backing design, I printed it on the back of Emily's pages. This is from Tailor Made Journals, and it's Avacado Coffee Dyed Paper. It's the name of the digital kit, and it's got lace doily design on it. And I made this pocket out of a gingham wrapping paper. And there's a bridge score pad page in there. And this is one of the things, in one of the journals, I think it's the other fabric one, I hadn't put all the things in the pockets. So I put them in the packet that will come. Oh, there's a recipe. And then I stamped these note cards. I didn't even show you the packet. It should have been tucked inside here. I don't know what I did with it. There will be a packet of goodies to use. Here it is. This one has a lot in it, so I don't know. One of them has more in the packet because I didn't put as much stuff in the pockets. So here's another fabric pocket, second signature, with some red ticking. I love that. Another of Carrie's clusters. A tag that I made with a recipe and part of the strawberry shortcake wrapping paper. And in some pockets I took just cut-offs of the paper and folded them and tucked them in, so you can do what you want with them. This is a little bonus pocket. As I said in one of the videos, I sewed these two papers together, but this one was white on the other side, and I didn't like the white with this and the red stitching here. So I added a strip of Emily's printable here, and it wasn't quite long enough, so then I added another cut-off scrapbook paper and made it a pocket. This lady is from a Sears catalog from the I think it was from the 60s. It's got strawberries embroidered on her shirt, and she's eating some berries. And she's a journaling card. And I tucked in these stickers. There's a bright green and a pink. These are from Avery, and you are supposed to be able to design something to print on the whole sheet. And there's one of the digitals. I just love these collage pages that she does. There's one of her cards, and then this is from the Simple Stories kit, and I just combined them and glued them to red cardstock and cut them out. A vintage shipping label and a journal card. It's the same as this one. Didn't even realize. I think I had it in this way, so the red's peeking out. This is a vintage price card, paper clipped on. This came from one of the recipes out of an old magazine, Real Old Time Biscuit Shortcake. And there's a little ephemera piece there. Small ledger paper. Look at that beautiful paper from Lorna Taylor, Tailor Made Journals. There's a recipe. It's got strawberries around whatever that is. There's a piece of the washi tape and another digital piece. That's 2 pages there. And this is a recipe from the Betty Crocker card library, and it wants to fall out of this, so I just put a paper clip down here at the bottom to just kind of encourage it to stay in place. These are 2 different dies from 2 different companies, but they look like they were made to go together. I just cut several of these out and a bunch of these and then glued them together. Collage up here. I did a little stamping of some strawberries. This says delight. That's the definition for delight. And then this is piping paper or rice paper. This is from an Ideals book with a strawberry cake. This doesn't have anything to do with strawberries, but I believe it is a complete story that you can read down to here. You might miss a sentence, I'm not sure. And then you can finish the story on the other side if you want to. I think the story's complete. I didn't read it. Strawberry wallpaper and another fabric flip. I sewed this little piece of eyelet to the bottom, like a little petticoat. And in the center of this signature, this is I did say that as wallpaper. These are from a vintage magazine. These were all one, they were connected, not this, that's digital. So you can see where his little hat fit in right there. But I separated it and made pockets. And these are just cut off scrapbook pieces. And these are just plain tags that I made with a pretty brad. This one actually has a strawberry on it. And this one just has green chevrons. Nice big tags you can play with. A couple more digital pieces here. And then this is another pocket that I used a die on, did a collage. And I did include just a little pullout from a little tiny book of songs, 1946. Some of them are religious songs, but not all of them. And strawberry paper, note paper, with a quote from Abraham Lincoln. And that came from Carrie. And then a vintage flashcard that you can decorate. This is a cluster that came from someone else, and I had already glued. I had made some myself that were already in my stash, and I thought they would go well with these. And I had already glued one in each journal before Carrie sent me those. So they still go with it. It's got some bird stamped on it. This little cluster ephemera piece I just glued down as a pocket and included a couple of the other pieces. Dyed pink paper from the other kit from last year. And Carrie sent me some little note papers with the bee, like the little strawberry that I showed you. This one is a bee. And this is from Johanna Clough. There's a whole set of labels with this color scheme, and a couple of them had strawberries on them. These pockets came with the kit. I included this little shipping tag and this red one that I collaged on, and I added this ice coupon. And the last signature has this gorgeous fabric on it, and I took a time card that has red on one side and green on the other. I had to cut off the very bottom. We have all 7 days, but I cut off the bottom part. And then another tag that I made. Choose Joy. There's another cluster that I glued to cardstock and included some ephemera. This is a vintage child's play set. They were kind of like flannel graph, but they weren't flannel, they were just fuzzy, and the pieces were in very bad shape, but I bought them anyway because they were just so cute. And one of them was a basket of berries. There were children and animals and all kinds of scenery making things for different play situations, but I just took the strawberry basket out. These are parts of the Simple Stories kit. This is wallpaper and a vintage strawberry shortcake and rhubarb. It's got rhubarb in it from a magazine. A guest check, some tickets, and a cut-off piece. It's doubled, so you have lots of space to write. And a pink and white polka dot glassine bag. Another page from Carrie. I'm so appreciative, Carrie, of everything you sent me because it really added a lot to these journals. That's a stamp that I have, and I stenciled. Some of the digitals are here. And another one of those pockets with a different design. Another recipe and a journal card. I'm not sure where that came from. It was in my stash from another journal. This one, I think I was just covering up the wallpaper print up here. I didn't do that on all the pages, but I did on a couple. There's a belly band with this ribbon and some cardstock that I punched, and behind it is a note paper from Carrie. She sent me 3 different ones. So I had, oh no, 4. I had those 2 and this and this. And I used them all in all of the journals. And then this is like a count. It's almost like a ledger card. Not almost like, it really is. And I think I took away the paper that belongs in here. I'll put that in later. This is from a vintage children's book. I just put it on green cardstock. And this little truck, it's a collage, and it's a little pocket. This says, blessings brighten when we count them. This pocket was made with a napkin that someone sent me, and I added this vintage pink lace at the top. Another one of Carrie's note papers. I think that's one I showed you, right? It's not another one. And oh, I have to poke out those little holes. This is a die cut, and I added a collage on it. I'm going to just stick that there so I remember to do that. A pink library pocket, and I just added one of the journal cards and one of the little collage pieces and a library card with my signature. So this one is, I'm going to call this antique ad. No, I don't know what I'm going to call it. You'll see. You'll see the pictures. This one is the pink and red one. Pink and red fabric strawberry journal. And I just made the ties this morning. I used kind of long pieces, so it didn't take me quite so long to make it, but I just love these patchy ties. And I tied the bow, so you don't have to untie it if you don't want to. You can just slide it off like I just did. If I were you, I would slide it off and leave it off until I was done working in it. Just put it in a safe place and then slide it back on when you're done and ready to put the journal on your shelf. But I added some pom-pom. I did design these covers on a video, and I showed in yesterday's video how to do the hidden spine. And I added a couple of vintage doilies and a vintage button. I did glue the ends of these, of the floss down. I have some wide pieces of eyelet fabric, and they're perfect for pockets. There's the journal, the kit for this. And I'll just go through this more quickly. This one didn't get a fabric flip because I had already put this in here. It's one that I had made. It was in my stash. This is one of the ruffles that Carrie made. Did I not put a ruffle in that other one? Let me look. I think there was one ruffle. I don't remember now. I think there were more than one. I'll have to see. If I have an extra piece of ruffle, I will add that in there. But I love the ruffles that she makes. This is from a gardening book. And they look good. I just added a little flashcard in here. This is a different kind of a pocket. It's a little scrap of paper, and this is part of the digital. And so this is glued here. So when I put these in, they're not going to slide down. This is another one of Johanna Clough's labels. So you can glue this to a page. I put it so you can see the strawberry. And this is glued down also. So this pocket is this big, and this pocket is this big. Like that. This is a vintage strawberry jelly for flavoring ice cream, jellies, cakes, pies, etc. It says strawberry gel, high-grade flavoring extract. So that is real vintage, and I meant to put one in all of the journals, but things just got complicated this week. So I made sure all 3 packs have one of these because I didn't want to go through and try to find which one had one. So I just added one to all 3 of the packs. See, there it is right there. Also this vintage label that says jam. The wrapping paper. The vintage label. Shipping label. Pretty wallpaper. Here's a crepe paper. Here's another cluster that I had made. And a paint chip. She gave me 3 paint chips, so I had enough to put 1 in every journal. Maybe she gave me more. I don't remember. Oh, this is a vintage flashcard. Another of Johanna's labels up there. Here's one of the recipes that I just popped in there. It's got nothing on the back. It actually has 2 recipes that you can cut apart and use however you would like to. This one has a strawberry flashcard. And from a vintage, oh, it's from the ad where the lady was wearing the strawberry embroidered shirt. It says Strawberry Time. 3-way blouse, $2.97. And this says Luscious Strawberries from an old magazine. Love You a Bushel and a Peck. That's from the Simple Stories kit from Emily's Designs. This is from a vintage magazine. This has the same things behind the belly band. Another page from a gardening book. Look at all those berries. Recipe. And this one has a tag with a pink and green striped brad, a vintage Quizmo card, and a digital jar. This is from a vintage magazine, seed catalog supplement or something. I already poked all the little holes out of that one. And this one has a paint chip in the back that I got from Lowe's. It's got little glue crumbs on it. And my signature. I'll show you what, well, yeah, I'll show you what's in here real quick. And they might vary because some of these items that are in here might be tucked into the pocket in another journal. But this seems like the one that I may have put more in. It's got a piece of the ribbon, scraps. They all have scraps of paper and wallpaper and little bits of the ephemera pieces. Bridge score sheets, the music. I didn't put the music in a pocket in this one, so there's that. While you were out, these note papers might not have been in there. And I had one extra of those, so I put it in. Every packet has these tickets and a piece of the napkin, little pieces of recipes, and like I said, leftover digital pieces, scraps of paper. There is a bee, because I didn't put the bee in this journal, in a bingo paper. So those are the kinds of things you'll find in these packets. I want to get it in here so things don't scatter. I know me. I know what will happen. Oh well, got most of it in. Okay, one more journal. We can do this one quickly. That one was pink and red. This one is red and green. So these pieces of fabric are just sewn onto a piece of muslin type of fabric. And here's what the design looks like. It's got a doily with a button. This is an old button that still had the old thread in it. There's the pack. This is from an old children's game too. It was a piece of pretty thick chipboard, so I peeled it. Make it a little bit thinner. And here is some more of those ladies with the strawberry shirts. This is from a Gyo Fujikawa poem book. Strawberries, strawberries, yum, yum, yummy. 1 for the pail and 2 for the tummy. 1 to save and 2 to taste. Lots to pick and none to waste. So cute. And that is reminiscent of my childhood, picking wild strawberries up in our field. They were tiny and they were so sweet and delicious. There's a recipe card in there from the Betty Crocker Library. This one is made with a bright pink card instead of a red. Look at that. This one has rhubarb in it too. Gizmo card. This is a Victorian ephemera piece. It's one of those embossed. You can feel the texture. And it's beautiful. It's a strawberry plant. This one I got all poked out too. I like this green stripe bag. I love this ephemera piece. All of this, not the doily, but all of this is all one ephemera piece. It was printed like that. I think it's very pretty. There's another one of Carrie's ruffles. I was covering something over here, so I used that paper and a vintage label, and there's the strawberry that Carrie sent. Oh, this one got the extract. Only one of them didn't, but now you all have one in your pack. This is another one that's a 2-layer pocket. Pink typing paper. This has got strawberries. This one, again, doesn't have anything on the back. Well, it does. I didn't glue anything to the back so you could write on it. And this pocket has this little girl from one of my pattern catalogs. She's wearing a strawberry top and carrying a ladybug purse. And then the strawberry note paper and these. I don't remember them being in that, so I'll make sure that they go in there. Oh, that's a pocket. You have something in here you can stick in there. Crepe paper, digital, or not digital, vintage label. This is from the current catalog, A Basket of Strawberries, and I would have covered over the unicorn, but I was running out of time to get these things done. So you can feel free to use papers out of here or writing paper that you may have to cover that unicorn if you want to. And this one has a green striped bread. And this card that I made. And there is the paint chip with my signature. Okay, so we're done. I'm going to get these photographed and listed, and I'm not sure what day I'll have time to get all that done, but because of the way my life is right now, I'm just going to say when. I'm going to publish the video when I get these listed so that they will be simultaneous. When you see the video, these are in my shop. So I want to say thank you to everyone for your kind comments about my dad and my mom, and your prayers and all your support. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate your support with my channel and my shop. And I'm going to link my shop below, and I will link Polka Dot Pixels below, and I will link the tailor-made journal kit with the avocado dyed paper that I printed on the backs. So all those things will be listed underneath my video, so you can click on any of those and get to go where you want to go to make a purchase. I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.